Almost every veteran that's looking into this subject is going to ask the search engine of their choice, the AI of the choice, the armchair lawyer of their choice. Hey, man, can veteran benefits be used for child support? Can child support come after my veteran benefits? That's the question asked. And I guarantee you, every single AI, every single search engine, I don't care what flavor you like, goes out there. All they do is they read the internet and they look for the most copies of one flavor of opinion, and then they condense that down and say, well, most people say this, because all those AIs do is look at what other people say. They don't.
You're correct. They're really fast at it too.
And so if you ask the question a little bit differently, like does a current positive law statute hold precedence over a court ruling or a past version or an old version of the same statute?
Bob, would you like to play a game?
Oh, baby.
Thermonuclear war sounds more fun than thermonuclear war sounds more fun. Ask the question. Give me the question.
The Christmas tree. Don't do it.
Don't push the button. Don't push the candy-colored button.
I just did this on I Ask Rock, and it says, yes, VA disability benefits can be used for child support.
Because that's the method they go to ask that question.
Now, Bob, ask the question. We'll do this live. What's the phrasing you were using?
I'm going to go ahead and throw it in the chat if you don't mind, and that way you can have it verbatim.
Comments, private chat, waiting, standing by. Let's play games, ladies and gentlemen. We'll do this live and see what happens.
Now, one of the main reasons we're talking about this on the show is veterans are getting literally thrown into the street, and their VA disability compensation,
or in jail in some cases,
is being stolen from them.
Yeah.
This is absolutely egregious, and it's happening on the regular, and nobody's doing anything about it. We
Brandon,
can't.
Let's be honest. You were thrown in jail because you're a dick.
Shit. I mean, so we have to do it ourselves, and we have a whole panel of guys who have been crushed by the system fighting back.
Pop. Okay. Here's quickly. Here's the other thing I want for the viewers, because there's a lot of misinformation, and this judges cannot legislate from the bench. They are not law.
They often
Congress makes the law. So read the law for the viewers, because there's all this misinformation. Oh, well, the judge says it's okay.
That's not a law.
That's wrong. Yep. So that's a big thing.
Here's a way of putting it. If you look at Article 6 of the Constitution, does it say that random court rulings pulled out of the ear of the available judge are the supreme law of the land? Or does it say this Constitution and federal law pursuant to this Constitution and treaties of the United States or which are in place or shall be made are the supreme law of the land, and judges in every state are bound thereby,
right?
Notwithstanding anything in a state constitution or law. Well,
I will throw the legal element there. Go ahead, finish up.
Yeah. Is the law written by Congress the supreme law of the land, or fairy tales?
I will throw the legal definition there as well. Everybody thinks a judge is there to make a decision, this, that, and the other. And that is true in a sense. What a judge is there to do is to examine the facts. If you have two parties or more, the facts presented by each party, and then hold them up to the applicable laws.
Yes.
And make a determination as to what the decision should be. If you've got a murder case, you hold it up to the laws against murder. This guy commit murder? Does it fit that? Yes or no? Did this guy commit fraud? Here's the evidence. Hold it up to the laws. Does that fit the definition? Yes or no? The judge is not there to make things up as he goes along, but that's what they often do. And that's all that they do in family court. Now, let's play this game, Bob. Let's hit the button and say, does a current positive law statute hold precedent over a court ruling on an older version of the same statute? Good question. This goes straight to the relationship between statutes and case law. Here's the breakdown. Statutes, positive law, when a legislature enacts or amends a statute that is the governing law from the date it takes effect forward. Courts must apply the statute as written unless it is unconstitutional. Court rulings.
The Supreme Court ever ruled Section 211 or Section 511 unconstitutional?
Marbury versus Madison, no, it does not meet the test. The new statute for that, the new ruling for that, by the way, is Wilson versus Hawaii.
Hey, hold on. One person talk at a time, please.
Sorry. McCulloch versus Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
Though limited in its power, when Congress acts on that power, that is the supreme law. I mean, this is a very strong point.
Yes.
Right.
That's
anyways. So the answer on the screen here shows a good feedback, but this is the difference.
Zoom this in a little.
When we are searching the internet, we who are not attorneys, we veterans who are just in pain are going to ask, what the hell do I do? And the internet is going to look at or the search engine is going to look at the websites published by lawyers. Lawyers are not going to throw each other under the bus because admitting fault means losing their paychecks. And throwing their colleagues under the bus means getting burned out of the legal community. They're not going to help us. Judges are not going to admit 30 years of profiteering and helping their lawyers make money. And the state itself is going to hide behind 11th Amendment immunity. So we know we can't sue the state in the federal court, but we can sue them in the state court. Look at Torres versus Texas.
Yep.
So in looking at this, when Congress changed Section 211, before it became 511, when they changed 211, they removed of the United States. They made it clear that the administrator had exclusive jurisdiction on every question of law or fact. Now it says the secretary has exclusive jurisdiction on every law or fact, and these decisions may not be reviewed by any other official or by any court. The only thing that is exceptional from this is appeals that go to the Court of Appeals for Veteran Claims, appeals of housing or insurance decisions, claims for life insurance when a veteran dies, or claims under the education provisions of the VA. There is no section there that says divorce, alimony, and child support. There is no exception to allow states the power to interfere with veteran benefits. And a big part of this, it says all law and fact.
Yeah.
That includes the fact of disability established by VA decision. So if the VA is putting out benefits based on disability, the fact of disability is exempt from state jurisdiction. It belongs exclusively to the secretary. That's a private conversation between the veteran and the federal government by way of the secretary.
Yeah.
Nobody has jurisdiction to ask about what your benefits are or what your disabilities are.
Don't talk to them about it.
Well, of course not. But
frankly,
the thing is,
don't talk to them about it.
Corner veterans into signing a release of information, giving them access to their records.
Not a lawful order.
Nate,
Fuck off.
you're nodding your head. Did they threaten you with that? And they use our children.
Hang on, I muted Nate because
get
he's got like that noise in the background. Hang on, he wants to talk. All right, Nate. Hang on a minute.
To it, but I pretty much did, right? So I was given a stack of information, a stack of paper, and wanted me to disclose everything because if I didn't, I knew she was going to anyway. So I disclosed all my income. They wanted me to sign HIPAA forms, which, I mean, go ahead. I don't really give a shit at this point. You know what I mean? I'm just ready to see my kid and I'll do whatever. You know, I was pretty much backed into a corner to play their game, but now I'm not playing their game. Like, yeah, I'm cool with them, but that's for self-preservation, right? Like, I can't go in there and just start thrashing them as bad as I want to, knowing the laws and rules as far as them garnishing my federal funds, because that's illegal.
Okay,
But
I'm going to stop you real quick, Nate. With the HIPAA stuff, when they're trying to get you to sign off on that stuff there, they're committing a federal crime and you should take that to the FBI. And I'm not even remotely kidding.
Multiple federal crimes, and one of them in violation of
Wow.
Section 511.
Wow.
The difference between, let's say, a violation of the HIPAA law, yeah,
Yep.
you can get them in trouble for the HIPAA law because they're breaking that one. But you can't sue a judge for money over breaking HIPAA.
oh, you can't.
Violating Section 511 is violating federal preemption. And the difference is, if they have jurisdiction on a subject, they can break the law all day long in that subject. But when they go across the line of federal preemption into the federal area of veteran benefits, they violate 511. That's a violation of your rights established by 511 that say they have no jurisdiction to touch that. The judge has no immunity, no judicial immunity, when they have no possibility of jurisdiction. And that's the reason we're bringing this suit to the Supreme Court of the United States, because we need to ask, hey, is it pretty obvious that they are bound by the law that says they could not possibly touch veteran benefits any way, shape, or form, either way, whether it's violating the Former Spouses Act or violating the Veterans Judicial Review Act? And can they be sued for money? So that's the questions we're putting to the table. These are the questions we need to come up from every veteran, from every jurisdiction. And we need to roast. We need to get some attorneys in trouble. We need to get some judges in hot water. And big time, any member of the Child Support Enforcement Office who's participated in your case, a prosecutor, or I've had several of those who come in there and say, oh, well, no, that belongs to us. Your benefits go to the state because whatever, you have child support, you have welfare, you got whatever in there. Any of those child support officials, those are the guys we're trying to put out of business. The lawyers and the child support officials. We're not trying to burn all the judges to the ground. They're not the heart of the problem. The lawyers.
Stand by, Bob. Stand by. I want to see all the judges get burned to the fucking ground. Just to be honest.
The ones who are doing this systematically, yes.
Can I interject here for just a second here?
Go down.
Kind of related to Nate's case. The other gentleman that filed a case, his is also set for conference the same day as mine, is Derek Skelchuk. He's not a retiree, but he's 100% P&T. And his judge last year in Fort Collins, Colorado, ordered him in open court to disclose his disabilities, what his medications were, and all kinds of garbage like that. And we ordered the transcripts, and some of the stuff that he told us right after he walked out of the courtroom was not in the transcripts. And
that happens all the time. That's why they don't want you to record.
That's why they don't want cameras in the courtroom.
That's correct.
See, Pop, perfect. Yes, they don't want you recording in there.
So
No.
there
For
is
that
another
very
case
reason.
set for conference the same day as mine.
That's what I ended up. That's what I ended up doing, right? Because, I mean, I found just going through numerous reports, right? I had CPS on my ass for no reason, right? They're at my house like 2 times a month. I didn't even have my kids. And I looked at the lady one day and I was like, did you even read the report? She gives me this deer in the headlights look, right?
No.
I was like, it's 23 pages. I threw it at her. I was like, there's so many inconsistencies here. There's inconsistencies between the police reports. I even spent $500 out of my own money to get a 6-hour transcript.
Oh.
And I went through and I highlighted every freaking inconsistency between all these reports.
Yep.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yep.
And
Why do we have to pay for our transcripts?
because
Exactly.
it's done through a third party, which also goes
Another
back
show.
to the county.
That's another show.
It is another
Object is
show,
to
but
make-
the short answer is to discourage you. Now, there's been a couple of terms thrown around that I want to clarify. People ascribe it to the sovereign citizen movement, which I think is a honey trap and a red herring. I think it's a bunch of nonsense. But one thing is true, and it is demonstrable, and it is written right into federal law and the Constitution. We hear a lot about the state court and the federal court and state jurisdiction and court jurisdiction and everything. Okay, there are 3 United States of America. Okay, there is the corporate federal entity, which parades itself around as the United States of America in courts. There are each of the individual states, all 50 of them. They comprise, of course, the United States. And then there is the whole, which is represented in overseas matters for diplomatic stuff. So when you hear not a state court or any court or that kind of thing, it's one of those three entities. Well, it's one of the two, typically. It's either the federal corporate entity or one of the states. Just to make that portion clear.
All right. I know this is a dry subject, but
It is dry.
It's very important.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's drier than Ruth Bader Ginsburg's Censor That Out.
And even the men who are not, hang on.
Steve.
Even the guys out there who watch this show who are not veterans, you need to pay attention to what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're arguing for a protection of our VA disability benefits. If you have not served in the military, every goddamn thing you own, all the money you make, all of your assets could be dragged into court, cut in half, and then she gets the other half based on I'm not happy, the three magic words that activate the Bermuda Triangle of the vagina. And I have seen whole careers, lives, children, cars, boats, houses, businesses get sucked into that shit and never seen again.
Watch Grunt Speak live every Tuesday and Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you want to join Pop for Supporter Sundays, go to redonkulous.com/donate and make a monthly pledge. A link is in the Meat Gazer box.